Mr. Transformers 96 here from the video review. This time we have another Marvel Legends figure, and it's Modok. So this is an exciting release, something a little different from Marvel Legends, kind of just doing a, large deluxe figure. You know, they've done the smaller kind of $30 deluxe figures as of late, but this one is definitely very unique, and such a unique looking character too. It's exciting to get another version of him, as our last one was so long ago, back in the early 2000s, the Modok Build-A-Figure from Toy Biz. I do have that one, so I'll be doing some comparisons here, but just starting off with the packaging, I don't know how much I love the packaging design, to be honest. It looks a little odd. I think that, you know, just the shape of it's completely fine. I think that looks decent. It's odd to get a Marvel Legends that you can't actually see, that's completely sealed with no kind of clear plastic. The picture that they chose is like the figure, but it's like a rendered version of the figure, which is odd. I think that it would have been better to either do a shot of the figure or just a kind of a real render, like an actual kind of comic shot of him, something like that. The back, or the sides, great comic images. Do like that a lot. And the back has the full figure and some of the features or some of the specific things about him, as well as the text going into the character. So Modok, very unique looking character, a massive head in like a little robot chair that flies around with the fire kind of shooting out the bottom. Very unique indeed. And that unique look has always intrigued me. When I first started collecting Marvel Legends, I really just collected Build-A-Figures. This is back in I probably started collecting around 2008, 2009, and I went back and purchased some of the Toy Biz Build-A-Figures that I was really interested in, and one of those was the Build-A-Figure of Modok. So I really have always loved this figure. I thought it was an awesome Build-A-Figure. To get an update is cool. It's not, I think it's needed because Hasbro has not done one, but just for already having this Toy Biz one, this is a great figure, and it worked great in my collection. So I'm happy to get a new update, but it's not one that I particularly felt the need for an update. But I'm all for it, because I'm very happy to get this update, and it's very different from the Toy Biz one, which is awesome. So I'll get into a more deep dive comparison a little later here, but just talking about the figure just in general. Really like the look of it. Massive face, love the expression. He's got the white eyes, but it does actually have the outline for where the pupils would be. They're still white, but it is actually a slightly different shade of white, so if you look hard enough you can see it. It gives a little bit more dimension to the eyes, which I really do like. Love the fact that the mouth's open, looks very angry. His kind of hair sculpt at the top, obviously sculpted very well. It's all rather organized for hair though, and then you have basically a dark brown covering the entire thing, and then a lighter brown that's touched the raised pieces, which I think does look quite nice. The overall chair itself, very bulky, very wide, and it's got it's kind of a goldish, I would probably call it gold, but it almost has a very shiny, glossy yellow look to it as well. Maybe something a little bit more traditionally gold would be nice, but I do like the two-tone in some areas. You've got the design work here is a darker color, as well as the inset pieces here, it's darker, and it has like a marbled look to it, which I think actually does look very cool. The booster piece at the bottom is darker than the top pieces, and it is all that one color. They didn't kind of two-tone it like they did up here. With all this detail, this would be the best part to two-tone, so that's a little disappointing. Wish that they did the same thing that they did up here, where they had the lighter piece just doing the entire thing, and then all these raised squares maybe did them in the same color, this kind of darker color. I think that would have been really nice. The jet piece at the bottom is very cool. It's two pieces. You've got this kind of top jet piece, which is a translucent red, that goes into the bottom piece that's spraying up, which the base is a translucent red, and then it goes out to the sides of a yellow translucent that also has an orange that's been kind of washed into it. So overall, like the design of the fire. The base of the fire is awesome. This top piece, maybe some other colors in here would have been cool too, but overall I think that it's quite nice. His limbs themselves look good, although I've got an issue with this one where the arm pops out super easily, and when you get this figure, he's in a bunch of pieces. It's really like you just bought a Build-A-Figure and then you you get to build them. But the one thing that isn't like separated is the arms. The arms are attached to this thing in package 2, so it's kind of annoying that the thing that keeps popping out is something that you didn't even have to pop in the first place. So that's a little annoying. Wish that the joint itself was a little tighter there. The articulation on him is quite good though. He's got ball hinge shoulders with a hinge swivel elbow, hinge swivel wrist, then the thighs, ball jointed thighs with a thigh swivel, double hinge knees, and hinge pivoting ankles, which is cool. The pivot's unnecessary, super unnecessary on this figure, as his feet never touch the ground. But nonetheless, even more power to him for adding it. The joystick on here, I think, is really nice. One and major benefit from the original is that the Toy Biz one has just a swivel on that, so it was a little harder to get it like perfectly in his hand. This one is on a ball joint, so you definitely have a lot more range there, and his hand holds it very nicely. Even has his finger out a little bit to be like about to press that button there, shoot some lasers, stuff like that. So I think that that's quite nice. And then also what's very cool about this figure is that it comes with accessories, which is nice. It comes with interchangeable hands. So basically you have 2 of these. So you have 2 super open hands. You can do some fun expressions with that. And then you have a hand for holding the joystick on the left side and a fist on the right. So if you want him a little bit more relaxed, just kind of resting it on the armrest there, you can use the fist, which works very well. The other accessory that it comes with, which I really love, is the fact that he has an interchangeable head sculpt. And usually interchangeable head sculpts are nice, they're a little small. So with this character though, the interchangeable head sculpt is a major accessory, as the head is like the biggest part of this figure. So you clip it in here. Obviously the eyes are going to be the same. What's the different, portion of it is the fact that his mouth is now closed. So it's just more of a stern look if you want a more serious, kind of menacing Modok. This is a good head sculpt, and probably, you'll want the fist on this side and just have it resting and just looking a little bit more menacing there. But if you want something a little bit more expressive, a little bit more kind of crazy, this head sculpt I definitely like a lot. This is the one that I'll leave him on, just because it's a little bit more visually interesting. The only other piece of articulation on him doesn't actually come from his body at all. It's the fire. The fire attaches via ball joint up here. Now, the ball joint has a very minimal range. They could have done more with it, because he would still be stable even if you could move it more. But with that range, you can kind of tilt it here. I'm trying just to really show you like the maximum that you can do. It's very small. Just a small rotation, but it is something. So, having a little bit to the side looks really cool. I kind of like that. So I like the fact that there's a ball joint. Wish that the range was better on it, though, I must say. So overall, just as it is, as a figure on its own, really like it. I think it's pretty awesome. So now a bit of a comparison with the original. If you have the original, kind of contemplating whether you need this one or just want to know the differences in general, here they are together. So overall, the newer one from Hasbro is larger, as you can see. It definitely has more bulk sideways, and even when you turn them sideways, more bulk in general. The other one, the actual chair itself is slightly high, like longer in general. The stream of blast at the bottom is a little bit shorter as well. But overall, technically you do get a little bit more with this bigger one, not including the fact that he comes with interchangeable pieces, while the original one, of course, does not. Articulation-wise, they're both well articulated. I don't see any issue with the articulation on the Hasbro one. When it comes to the Toy Biz one, I do have an issue with the articulation with the shoulders. The way that it's inset, I believe it's more than a swivel, but the way that the arm actually does plug in, you really only get a swivel on it. So his arms have to be pointed out. There's no way that you can get them kind of resting on the armrest or anything like that. So that's disappointing. However, where the articulation is better on the Toy Biz one than this new one is that he has articulated fingers, which is really nice. That's something that is very rare nowadays in figures, so having it on this figure is really nice. Legs are just about the same, except the Toy Biz one doesn't have pivoting ankles, but it doesn't matter. You don't need the pivoting ankles at all. As far as paint, now they have a lot more detail in the face. The paint in the face, they both have like a, just kind of a skin tone is the base color, and then they have a wash in it. But the wash is just a lot more intense in this in the Toy Biz one. They even have a wash on the teeth. He looks a little bit more like realistic, to be honest. So I almost consider like this Modok more of a a modern, like kind of more gritty art design kind of Modok. While this one, it's much more clean, although it's two-toned, it's very clean. There's no additional shading or anything in the teeth, anything like that. The overall design looks a lot more classic. To be honest, I think that this one fits better with just, you know, a straight up kind of comic collection. This one is fine too, but that extra detailing, it's done to such a degree where it has real realism to it. You know, like if you didn't know this character at all and you were told one's a comic one, one's a movie one, you definitely think that this one was the movie one. As far as the chair color, you've got, again, like a kind of a light gold or like a glossy, shiny yellow. While this one, I would consider this one a much more of just a gold. I like the metallic, kind of darker, almost bronzy colors that they used to outline it. And then the rest of it is more of a gold. It's not quite as glossy as this one, but it does have a metallic type look to it. And I like the dark wash that they put into it. The overall design of the actual metal piece, you know, like his robotic portions, I think actually are a little bit better on this one, color-wise. Sculpt-wise, probably say this one. This one's got a little bit more going on sculpt-wise, a little bit more detail, and it's just larger in general, which I think looks a lot better. The jet pieces at the bottom, very much like the paint on the face. One's very realistic, one's a little bit more cartoony, comic-y. So that's, you know, it's up to your preference. I think that they both look great. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd go with this one. This one's very impressive. I do think that it looks nice, and I like the kind of smoke that it's like generating rather than just kind of the blast. Then the colors on the limbs, a little bit more purple here while you've got more blue. One piece that I like a lot better on this one is the little light up section here. It's red, but then it has like a outlined in the middle like a pink, so it looks like it's glowing, which is nice, while the alternative just it's plain red. And then of course better articulation on the joystick, so we can hold it a lot better than this one. So there you go. Both figures are great. I think that they both have different looks. If you have the original one, you don't need this one. This one isn't so much of an improvement that it's like a must-have, but it is really nice. I would still recommend it. I'm very glad that I got it, of course, and I really didn't question it either. You know, as soon as this went on pre-order, I pre-ordered it, because Modok is such a unique-looking character and just interesting in general. So, although I loved my original, I knew that this new one would definitely be worth it still, too, and it is. So there you go. That's my video review of this new Hasbro Marvel Legends Modok figure and a bit of comparison with the original from Toy Biz. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.